If you're thinking of renting property in the UK, short-term or long-term, then this is the right video for you. What is up YouTube? Dr. Wajih here and welcome to my channel where I help you achieve your dream of becoming a successful doctor in Pakistan or the UK. And I teach anatomy on the side. So if you haven't already, do subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon to stay notified of the latest videos. Hey guys, welcome to my new humble abode. Since I just recently moved to a new home in the UK, I thought I'd take you guys through the steps of renting property. So let's get into it. In this video, I'm going to use PLAB 2 candidates as an example, but these principles will apply to pretty much anyone who's coming to visit the UK or live in the UK. Before you even think about renting a property in the UK, your property should satisfy 5 main points: location, price, bills, Wi-Fi, and safety. Let me elaborate on that. Your location should be ideally within 30 minutes of walking distance from your place of study or place of work. If you get an accommodation that's only 30 minutes by walk, take it, it's a good deal. If you can find an accommodation like that, then make sure that your accommodation is close to links like the railway or tram or bus. If it is, then you're connected to the rest of England and it's not a problem. Finally, your location should have a couple of grocery shops nearby, okay? Maybe a Tesco, Asda, Aldi, or Sainsbury's, Home Bargains, you know, stuff where you can get everyday things from. The next point, budget. This is obviously going to be the make or break for most people. If you can't afford it, you can't rent it. In England, you can find a place that will accommodate almost all kinds of budgets. So do look around, do your research, and you'll find the right place. All right, number 3, bills. In addition to the monthly rent, you also have to pay for bills. Bills can be stuff like electricity, water, gas, Wi-Fi. Now, generally speaking, bills can be around 250 pounds on top of your rent. So when you're renting a property short term, it is wise to just go for those properties that include the bills in the rent. But if you're staying here long term, then that might be a different argument to have. The budget that I kept for myself, being a junior doctor, going for my PLAB 2 was around 700 to 900 pounds per month. This does not have to be your budget. It can be anything above this or below this, whatever is comfortable for you. But if you want to know about what kind of costs you're looking at if you come for your PLAB 2 journey, then do check out my video in the top right hand section here. I've detailed all the costs I had in my journey. Number 4, Wi-Fi. So whether you're a student or a professional or someone that's just come to take an exam, you'll need Wi-Fi. So make sure your property comes with Wi-Fi. Otherwise, you might just have to buy Wi-Fi, and that's an additional cost you don't want. Finally, number 5, safety. Every time you think a property is too good to be true, definitely search up the crime stats in that area. Every time you're thinking this property is right for you, do search up the crime stats in that area. This is how I've always done it. I go through these 5 points, make sure the location is right, make sure the price is right, and then it has the right amenities for me, like Wi-Fi. And then I look up the crime statistics. If the crime in that area are higher than the national average, I decide to go another way because safety first, always. So make sure to go through these 5 points and hopefully they'll serve as a good starting point in your search for an accommodation in the UK. Now I'm going to tell you about the apps that you can use to rent property. So you've got several apps to choose from. You've got Airbnb, Rightmove, Spareroom, and a ton of other apps. These 3 apps are the ones that I've used most frequently, and they're more than enough for me. But if you want to know about the other apps, I will drop a link in the description for you guys to check them out in your own time. Out of these apps, Airbnb would be the best one for short-term stays like a month or a month and a half. It is definitely pricier than the other 2, but it is very hassle-free and it's very straightforward. The other 2 apps are way more affordable. Rightmove will help you find your desired property. The only catch is they might ask you for longer lets. However, don't let that discourage you. You can always negotiate. You can always convince the landlord to let you stay for around 2 months or 3 months or on a shorter let. So don't give up on the property if you just see 6 months mentioned in the ad. Do contact the landlord and have a discussion about it. Spareroom might be the most affordable option. The only catch is that most of the properties in Spareroom are going to be a shared accommodation. So if you're someone that doesn't mind sharing a kitchen space or a bathroom, then by all means, go for that app. In the next part, I'm going to show you how you can use Airbnb and Spareroom to find an accommodation near your academy. Let's get into it. So first, let's open up the Airbnb app. Now here you're going to want to put in the postcode of your academy. So I'm just going to use Aspire as an example. You can go to their website, click on contact us, and they should have an address for you. So at the end of the address, they're going to have a postcode. So just copy that postcode and write it over here. And you can see an address is popping up here. So I'm just going to click on that. Click on find a place to stay. Punch in your dates. So just for example, if I'm going to be staying from the 21st till the 18th, for example. And I'm one adult that's traveling. And search. I've got several options in front of me. Now your first filter will probably be your price. So if you're getting an apartment that's costing you $12.19 per month, that's way over budget. At least for me it is. So I'm probably going to go with a more affordable option. This thing caught my eye from the photos, and if I just go scroll down, it'll show me that it's going to be $8.40 per month. So yeah, I think that's well within my budget. I can afford that. Just have a quick look at what the room is going to be like through the photos. The neighborhood looks quaint and the room looks good as well. This room seems to be checking my boxes. Now all I got to do is find out where exactly is it located. So I'm just going to click on maps and I'm going to zoom in. So you can see it's somewhere close to Hollinwood. Airbnb is not going to give you an exact location until you pay for the rent. But I've found a life hack for that. I'm just going to show that to you in a second. So zoom in, and try to identify one of the streets. So if I zoomed in here, I can see that I have a street called Wesley Street close to my accommodation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Google Maps and enter the street name. So I've already entered Wesley Street over here, and as you can see, it's found me a ping. Now all I have to do is make sure that the place is the same. So Wesley Street over here, there's a park over here, Maple Road on top. Let me just confirm that by going back on Airbnb. Yep, so there's Wesley Road here, park over here, Maple Road on top. So it's safe to say that this is the same place. So as you can see, my house is going to be very close from Wesley Street. So I'm just going to type that in to Google Maps, and from here you can get directions to your academy. So press directions. This is the postcode for Aspire, and as you can see, this accommodation is going to be 54 minutes by walk. So that's a kind of a long walk. So our other options are to use the tram. So Oldham and Manchester have a very well connected tram network that you can use. And if I click on tram, you can see it'll only take me 25 minutes to get to the academy from my accommodation. Let's click on this and find out the details. So let's say if I'm at the academy, it's a short 3-minute walk to the station. And from the station, I just have to get on this pink line and it'll drop me off at Hollinwood. From there, I just have to walk 10 minutes. So you've got a fair idea of how much you're gonna have to walk, how much you're gonna have to travel. Even if you don't have the exact location, it's still pretty accurate. It worked out great for me, so give it a shot. Might just work out for you as well. Now that I know that it's only 25 minutes by tram and the tram station is only a 10-minute walk from my place, I'm thinking, you know what, this is checking more boxes for me. I like the location of this place. I like the price that they're offering it at. Now I want to see what other amenities they have. So the good thing about Airbnb is that it very conveniently lists down these things. So straight off the bat, they've mentioned that they have Wi-Fi, very important for anyone coming in to take an exam. And you can check out all the other amenities by clicking here. I'm not really going to go into too much detail, but do notice that Airbnb crosses off the things that they don't have. So for example, this place doesn't have a TV, won't have a washing machine. So those are sort of the things that you might want to take into consideration before you're saying yes to a place. Now I just want to see if it's close to any other amenities. So again, go back to your Google Maps. You've already typed in Wesley Street, so just zoom in a little and Google Maps will basically show you all the facilities that are nearby. Have a look at if there is a Tesco nearby or a Sainsbury's nearby, whichever market you prefer to go to. This will give you a fairly good idea of the location that you're going to be staying at and does it meet your requirements or not. Once you hit on reserve, they'll ask you for your credit card details, punch those in, and bingo, bango, bazingo, you're done. So Airbnb is really convenient like that. They give you a receipt, they give you a letter for your visa, and it saves you a lot of hassle. The only downside is that Airbnb is pricey. So compared to Spareroom or Rightmove, you're looking at way more money than you would with those other apps. All right, now let's check out Spareroom. So just gonna open up the Spareroom app, click on rooms and properties, type in the postcode that you want to be close to. So I'm gonna type in the Academy postcode, which is OL1 1TD. And I've got several search options. Straight off the bat, you can see this accommodation is way more cheaper, or rather I should say affordable, than Airbnb. And notice how at the top it says free to contact. That means you can contact the host for free. Some hosts might not allow you to contact them for free. So let's click here. And now first up, let's look at what the room looks like. So it's got a nice bed, a little sofa over here, and I am liking the wooden interior. Okay, you've got a kitchen as well. Now let's continue reading down. You can see it's only £500 a month, so that's within our budget. Bills are included. Not all Spareroom properties will have bills included, so be sure that whichever property you choose, bills are included, because you don't want to be paying bills separately, rent separately, especially when you're visiting. If you're staying long term, then that's a different argument. In Airbnb, generally the bills are included. That is what the case was with me. I didn't really have to ask around if the bills would be included or not. To be safe, you should always ask, but generally speaking, Airbnb does include the bill. And look here, so length of stay from 6 months. So this discourages a lot of people from even contacting the host, but don't be discouraged. Most hosts will allow you to stay short term, even though this says on the ad that it's for 6 months. So contact them, let them know that you're a doctor, you're here visiting for an exam, you're looking to work in the NHS soon. They do accommodate you if they feel like you're a professional, you will maintain the property, and they might just let you have it for 2 months or 3 months for a shorter term. So don't be discouraged if they say on the ad that the length of stay is for 6 months. All right, so amenities, they include internet. That's great. Now, this obviously has checked a lot of boxes for me. I'm just gonna have a look at the location. Oh, okay, so they were pretty particular about the location that they gave. They didn't give you a general idea, unlike Airbnb. The accommodation is on Tilbury Street. So again, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on to Google Maps and I'm gonna write in Tilbury Street. Okay, we've got it here. And voila, here we are, Tilbury Street. Our accommodation is somewhere over here, and now we can simply get directions from our academy. So just type in the postcode for your academy and it's going to show you your options. So this is pretty close to Aspire. It's only a 21-minute walk, which is great. So you don't need any sort of transport, you can just walk there daily. 20 minutes is pretty regular for the UK. In case you're not thinking of walking, so you do have a 6-minute option. So you can just take a taxi or an Uber, but that will cost you way more. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. You have several bus options as well. You can see there's a lot of buses that go that way. But my advice would be to just walk for the 21 minutes. That's the easiest thing. Now, if you zoom in further, you should be able to find out if there are any supermarkets or local shops nearby where you can get your groceries from. So that's pretty much it. Now I'm gonna go back to Spareroom and okay, you can also use Street View in these apps to find out what the neighborhood sort of looks like. It does give you a general vibe of the neighborhood, you know, whether it's a rough area or a safer area. I generally look at the Street View to get a feeling of where I'm going to be living at. Plus I look up the crime statistics just to find out if the neighborhood is safe or not. Always do that. Always look up the crime statistics in the area you're considering of living in and compare them to the national average. And that's pretty much it. So now you've got a message option or a call option, and you can do either both. Contact your host, let them know that you're interested in staying for a short 2 or 3 months. If you're interested in staying longer, then just mention that, and agree on a tenancy agreement. So Airbnb gives you a letter straight up. Spareroom might not give you the same courtesy. So you might have to contact the agent or the host and let them know that you're coming here on a visit visa and that you need a tenancy agreement that mentions your passport and the other details. So type that up, send it to them, and they should sign it and send it back to you. Plus, you should also ask them to provide a utility bill or a council tax bill as evidence of the address where you will be staying at. And there you have it, folks. That's a wrap on how you're supposed to rent property in the UK. You might not always find a property that'll be satisfying all of these 5 points, and that's okay if they aren't a make or break for you. So always put your needs before anything else. But overall, the process isn't that hard and pretty straightforward, as you can see from the video. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Let me know if you have any other questions that you want me to answer in regards to renting property. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.